Welcome back. We've gotten through high school and college hoops. Now it's time to take things to the NBA. The Wizards had one of the worst starts of the season, only to be followed up by one of the best runs in franchise history. They currently sit third in the Eastern Conference standings, somewhere I didn't see them getting at all this year. For more, we send things over to the wall to Haley. Hey, Haley.
Trey, I'm just as stunned as you are, as I am with the 76ers. We're going to talk about Washington today, though. We welcome in Ben Standing of Locked On Wiz to talk some Wizards basketball. Ben, the Wizards have taken 9 of their last 10 games. Not at all what we expected from this team. What do you think it is that's enabling them to play so well?
You know, I think we're all trying to figure that out on some level. Is it that Otto Porter has gone from being a good player to maybe the most improved player in the league? Is the addition of Scott Brooks on the bench as the coach, you know, from a strategy standpoint, from a tone-setting standpoint, is that the difference? You know, is Markieff Morris and Gortat forming a really strong combination inside? But I really think at some base level, it comes down to the two best players, John Wall and Bradley Beal, are playing together. That simply hasn't happened much over the last 4 years. You know, somebody's always injured or on a minutes restriction or what have you, but they're both playing. They're both playing at a very high level.
And John Wall named to the All-Star team for the 4th consecutive time. Before the season started, it was doubtful that he'd be playing this much even. As you said, Beal and Wall are actually playing together. Wall really brings out the best in his teammates and vice versa, of course. Do you think people are saying, finally, this is the John Wall we expected to see in Washington?
You know, this team is the one I see 82 games. And all the other teams in the NBA, you know, I see them here, I'll see them there, some highlights. But, you know, it's different watching the team day in, day out, for good and the bad. You see their strengths, you see their weaknesses, whereas if you just see the other team, you're typically just watching a highlight. Well, I think sometimes maybe I can be a little too critical of him over the years because I'm recognizing he's not always giving full effort on defense. His shot selection isn't great. I'm not really having any of those issues this year. Certainly there's things to get better at. He will admit that. But you're seeing him definitely play at a whole other level this year. When the fans, I mean, I've had occasionally in the past chanted MVP when he's had a good game, and that's kind of cute. This year it's for real.
Not cute at all. Now, obviously, Wall and Beal are producing, which we expect to see if they're on the court together. Is there someone who has emerged as an X factor in your mind?
I mean, they've all, I think, for the most part, are playing some of the best basketball of each of their individual careers, and that's the key for this team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I'll go with sort of a random one. I'll go with Jason Smith off the bench. I mean, the entire bench unit is not that impressive, and they were a disaster earlier in the year. Some games they still look kind of messy. But he has really grown on me. You know, I don't think they were envisioning that he would be sort of the first big man off the bench, but they've had injuries and some other guys have not played that well. He's just an enthusiastic guy. He plays with a lot of energy. He hustles. He gets rebounds. He can hit some outside shots. I'm not saying that the Wizards, like, he is the difference between the Wizards having a run to the Eastern Conference Finals or not, but he's given them a lot more than they were getting from him or anybody else at that spot earlier in the year.
Ben, thank you so much. For Washington fans, it's been such a pleasant surprise. They just completed a historic 17-game home win streak. That'll do it for the NBA for now, but when we come back, it's our Plays of the Week. Stay tuned.
Nasir Tucker. I wrestle for Mardella Middle and High School, and you watch the Delmarva Sports Insider.